So it's been so long since we've met, but I feel very apologetic for not being able to say how have you been, because how could he say how have you been after all this drama? He feels very regretful that he has to apologize first. His mind feels very uneasy. So it's been about 10 days since Summer Luan. And for the both sides, both to the user side and to us, Smilegate probably has been the most traumatic period of time. When we were planning on Summer Luan, I had no idea that this will turn out to be a 3 episode, 3 episodes of communication. And he feels like this will be the last episode. He feels like Smilegate or the game hurt majority of the users, and he said they are doing this stream out of desperation. They are a little bit desperate. They are desperate to gain back our hearts. Sincerely apologize for the 10-day period of this morning 10-day period. He's going to mainly address 3 issues. One of them is a region censorship making it to KR live version. And the second part is why they're missing that one director position, the one who can take the responsibility. And third, about the future content, future vision, and the future of LOSTARK, how it will be structured or planned, like how timely it'll be released. In order to give you the information about these 3 things, I had to do some investigation, and he got all the info that he needed this morning. So he couldn't give us any faster notice. So he gave us a notice around, I believe it was around 12 p.m. or 2 p.m., around there between that. They sent out a notification saying that it's going to be 8 p.m. KST 8 p.m. today. So we had like a 6 hour notice. He felt the urgency to do this as soon as possible. I was gone from the scene, but during the past 1 year, I still played the game. I kept playing the game. So he wants to speak. He's been playing the game, so he knows like the general perception of the game right now. So he wants to talk about all these issues, speaking from both the developer side and the user. So we'll go over this one by one about about all of the, not accusations, but all of the things, the issues that arose, like the photos, like the illustrations. Like, did we really change all that because we don't want to work on the same content twice? Basically, work on 2 different versions. Oh, he's going to give us how global service is structured and how it works, the process of it. They have separate departments for the live services, global services, overseas services, NA, Europe, SA, Russia, Japan, and China, and KR. Oh, and they have teams that are working on the global services in that country, not just in Korea. Not just in Korea, but they have offices in those countries working. They're coordinating, basically. They're coordinators. So they dug in. What is the reason that's causing all this delay in contents or updates? A lot of things, a lot of the matters that needs global service attention, that office can usually respond to a lot of the matters, but there are times when resources needs to be reworked, especially the graphics team needs to follow up on these issues. As for the Chinese server, they contracted to do a server in China last year winter, so 2022 winter, and they started getting a lot of requests to localize for the Chinese server starting from January. Because they have years of content or updates that's been applied to the game right now. Well, the game's been live for about 5 years now. It's impossible to remodel or rework all those resources for the Chinese version in 6 months. It's impossible. So he also added that they've been working on, despite not knowing that they were going to release it in China. Nothing was for sure, right? Because of some political issues. Basically, China blocked all the Korean games for a while after Lost Ark released. That's been lifted now. Anyways, so they've been working on, I guess, the Chinese version ever since 2016. So yeah, again, this is not something that can be done starting from January to now. It's not something that can be done over a couple of months. So they've been working on this, preparing for this for a long time. But at the same time, as the release got close, they started getting more requests to localize for the censorship basically, and they had to respond to this, especially the graphics team. So the staff that were working on in the graphics team, the staff was increased by 11%. The past, I guess, 6 months since January for the Chinese version. So this graphics team basically can mean like effects or just like effects or general appearance or design of mobs or whatever. It can mean various things, but 11% basically means like an average increase in the staff that's working on the graphics for the
이렇게 이제
China version.
말씀드리면 여러분
He's going to talk about the delay. He's going to talk about what was in the roadmap. And basically, he learned a lot of stuff from having all these meetings for coordination for the loan. The people who are working on Theamine, there's different staffs like who people who takes care of gear scores or designs or whatever. They were never deployed for the China release. They basically Theamine team was left alone to work on Theamine. So original plans for Theamine release was in August. It was in August, but it was delayed about 2 to 3 weeks. He's saying Gate 2 and Gate 4 are the main reasons for the delay. He thinks the main issue, no, the main issue that caused the delay is Gate 4. Because they kept saying Theamine is going to be despair, a very difficult raid. They kept saying like it's going to be very difficult. But even if it is difficult, even if you kept saying that, it still has to be fun. It can't be just despair over and over. They have a lot of ideas for Gate 4, but they couldn't just make it difficult. Making it just difficult is easy, but also making it fun at the same time is not that easy. It's not an easy task. So they had to consider this Gate 4 over and over and over again. He does confirm that the skins were delayed due to the China release. There was about 1.7 loss. 1.7, I'm guessing that's like 70% compared to other skin cadences. So how when users said, is the China release causing delay in care content? He does confirm that it's partly true. Not Theamine, but skins. And he said sorry. I'm sorry about that. The localization went on from January to May. It's been over since May. Starting from June, they are not working on localization for the Chinese server. So there's a lot of users saying that Smilegate is going all out for the China release, and they're putting the KR server aside. This Smilegate only looks into China server, making money from China server, China Dream or whatever. That is not true. They have different departments and offices working on the localization or publishing in a certain region. So this is not true that we're going all out for the China version. So we'll go through one by one of all the user suspicions about the concerns, impressions, suspicions. This was introduced in the summer Loan. The last Loan. This is supposed to be like a story prequest for Theamine, and it says the light of destiny, red moon, but the moon isn't really red. So there are suspicions that the new illustration or the new continent that's coming out is changed because of the Chinese censorship. Is the red moon not red anymore? However, I'm not sure if you guys will believe this or not, but that's not true. In Smilegate, they have standards when working on other regions and censorships. They think of them separately. That's company policy. Well, standards for the global censorships and services. They did change the mood to signal that the resurrection of Kazuros is nearing. The moon itself did not change, but the mood did change. They think they got rid of the cross on their clothes, but this is the in-game footage of Plessy, which was released about a year ago. They don't have crosses either. He didn't confirm. He forgot to confirm before he came coming out. But Solus also does not have a cross in the back. He thinks that it's in the front. So cross being gone from the back doesn't necessarily mean that they took the cross out just because of Chinese version. There are priests that has crosses and people that don't. Vescal. This is kind of difficult to explain. This was Luon winter, 2022 winter, 2023 summer. So this Guardian raid is supposed to have blood-sucking concept. Why did it change? Yeah, it'd be very easy for people to be suspicious about this. After this was announced in the winter Luon, in the community, people were saying this Guardian raid is imitating a monster or a boss from another game. So they decided to change this. I also feel a little iffy about, I don't know if just changing the color is going to do enough. But however, internally from the company, this was the reason why we changed it. But he does want to go on and further explain about it. People are basically saying they changed it because they don't want to work twice. But what he's saying is it's not that hard to just change the color of the effects. Changing the model of these effects might be hard, but changing the color, it doesn't cost any money. It doesn't take that much time. So if they wanted to work on two versions, it's not that hard. Soul Eater. The left side was introduced in the Winter Lawn, and the right side was introduced in the 2023 Summer Lawn. This was the original illustration, and they changed the illustration because the people are accusing that in China, people don't like white hair, people don't like short hair, and this is too exposed, basically. And people are saying that they changed this illustration in order to meet the Chinese censorship requirements. And this was because of the founder skin, the launch skins of Soul Eater. The left side, there's two versions to the skins. We call it launching skins or launching avatar, A and B. There are two versions. The winter had this on, and the summer one had this one on. Oh, left side is like the cat concept, and the right side is like a bat concept. Basically, he's saying, so you guys are accusing that we changed the illustration for the China censorship. It's not. No, it's just two different skins. Summer skins. Dude, some people thought this was censored because it's covering belly button, right? People were saying this is like what's going to happen in the future, right? It's going to cover belly button. It's going to be more closed. However, there's two different versions. Oh my god, I love this version. There's going to be two versions to the summer skins. One is this one and one is this one. So this, I don't know if you guys will believe it, but this is a part of design. It's a swimsuit design. And covering belly button is not even the requirements of Chinese censorship. About changing monster appearances, mob appearances. There's a lot more than this. What was discovered in the care patch, the monster appearance changes. There's a lot of more changes, and it is a question to him why only a part of it made it to the live server. So basically, the patch note is not done by one person. The reason why people think it wasn't a simple mistake is because it was also in the patch note. However, the patch note is not done by one person. They have separate teams working on all these like different patch notes, and they send out emails. Okay, this is our patch note. Can you guys confirm? They send it out and they confirm via email. Yeah, we checked our part. This is correct. We checked our part. This is correct. We checked our part. And that's the process of how this works. And basically, they got somehow this version, this monster appearance change was applied to the game. And when people were writing up that patch note, they probably thought, oh, okay, so these changes were made and then wrote it up and then it was released. It would have been a very bad timing to upload this, do these patch notes after summer lull when all these issues were happening. So it was not. Basically, he's saying it wasn't intentional. It was a mistake. These are the monster that still exists in KR, the infected zombies or whatever. This could have been more problematic for the global release, but these are still there. However, it was a mistake on their part, and it was their responsibility to check thoroughly, but they didn't. They're not the changing colors or this. It's not a big deal. It's not even that much of a work. So he's just trying to say that it was a mistake. Basically, in the end, at the end of the day, it was a mistake. It's not that hard, but it was their fault for putting it in there, whether by mistake or not. However, one thing for sure, they do have standards, company standards that they run each server separately or have versions for separate versions, separate design versions for separate different regions. However, whether it be a mistake or not, although we do have company standards to work on these versions separately, every time there's a new content or new update, people will scrutinize on any updates and try to look for about the censorship thingy. And it is the company's fault, and he's very sorry that in the future, people might have to play this game with suspicions, not just enjoying game as just games, but in the back of our head, we might be suspicious in the future. Like we're gonna try to look for any censorship, and that's their fault. To make sure that this does not happen again, they will hire more staff for global versions to make sure that the KR server staff don't have to work on the global version. So no more delays of update will be happening in the future. And basically he said, I'm not just saying this. When we do get more employees, I will do another live stream and tell you about the process or how reinforcing of the employees have gone. About the director, general director. Basically, he said the three directors right now are the best in their field. But when you come from that field, it's very difficult to oversee the whole thing. And he goes on by saying, when you're trying to find a person to be a general director of this whole operations, it's not just like appointing someone and be like, hey, you do the general directing. It has to be like a mutual agreement, and that is not an easy process, and that's why there was not one general director until now. They're going to work on this to find a new general director, the overseer, and they'll try to find the general director until November, which is the 5th year anniversary, and that he will temporarily be the general director. He's gonna take the position. He's gonna step down from CCO and take the general director position until they find one general director in November. He's gonna do more frequent live communications, like live streams, until they find a new director. Whatever ideas or whatever in there's ahead, he feels like they can share it with us and get feedbacks from it. I think this is my fault about the absence of one general director. I should have seen this coming, but it's my fault that I could not predict this. So he's gonna talk more about the contents. So he basically, until now, he talked about the three main issues, which were absence of director, one general director, and the slow pace of update and the censorship issue. From here on, he wants to talk more. He doesn't think this is enough for the viewers. He wants to communicate a little bit more. There's a lot of issues that arose from low on. Let's talk about fatigue first. So he's kept playing the game for about a year after he stepped down. And the funny thing is, I sort of formed a view from an outsider, not from the developer, not from the Smilegate side, but also I gained a view from the users. So about the fatigue, the most talked about is Chaos Dungeon. Reduce the Chaos Dungeon to one run. Since I've been playing the game for about a year now, speaking from the user side, why does Chaos Dungeon run needs to be reduced down to one? It's simply because you're repeating the same thing twice. That has no meaning, right? So through doing these Chaos Dungeon twice a day, basically you're farming mats and resources. In the beginning of Season 2, there was some reward in the beginning of Season 2 from Chaos Dungeon, but right now, there's nothing you expect from Chaos Dungeons other than just simple mats to hone. And because there's no special loot from doing Chaos Dungeons, as a result, you want your Chaos Dungeon to be over as soon as possible. So you get pissed off because I need to do this as fast as possible, this Chaos Dungeon, but the mobs are all the way over there and I have to go chase them, and this is what's pissing you off. The public opinion or the user opinion is that if that's going to be the case, if we're going to do 2 runs for the mats with no expectation for special loot, if that's going to be the case, just reduce it down to 1. At the end of the day, the Chaos Dungeon needs to be reworked in a lot of ways, considering lots of other factors like loot and mobs and stuff
저는
like that.
개인적으로
What I'm
얘기를 해야
saying
하는
now
거긴
is not
한데
confirmed. I have to go back and discuss
어쨌든 좀
this,
지금도
but
좀
in my case, I feel like the Guardian raids are causing more fatigue than Chaos Dungeons. So because Guardian runs, when you have to do it every day, you cannot make it too annoying or too much of a hassle to the users. So what ends up happening when you develop the Guardian raids? You nerf them. You end up nerfing them, so they become not too much of a hassle to do every day. It's not confirmed. This is his idea, but he's gonna go back and discuss about this. He's thinking about making the Guardian run maybe 3 times per week, but make it like a middle content between Chaos Dungeon and Legion Raid. So when they do this 3 times per week run for Guardian raids, the developer might not have to worry about nerfing it so much. They can put in more ideas, more creative ideas to do this Guardians and make it more fun. But also because you're doing it 3 times a week, we would give out the rifle amount of rewards or mats or loot from these Guardian runs. Again, this 3 time or whatever is not confirmed. It's just an idea.
있는 부분이 있지
Wow,
않을까.
they really don't want to give up on this two chaos dungeon run stuff, huh? They will find other solutions like give it better loot, make it more fun, or make it more quick. But they really don't want to reduce it down to one. And I think it has something to do with their business model. They need to player retention, like time in the game. So he does acknowledge that Lost Ark does need faster contents, end game contents, because it doesn't take that long for you to farm like the gear. It doesn't take that long in order for you to complete an Akan set or Kayangyo level 3 set. So like the farming aspect is over in like 1 or 2 months. He does acknowledge that endgame content needs to be released faster. But at the same time, he did talk about like the middle players, the casual players that are catching up. So they need to consider a lot of factors when they work on new raids. So I think he wants to put in more content where we can like show off our powers, like maybe soloing stuff. He wants to put like contents like that. I think this is what he's saying. Maybe the cadence of update is not going to be as fast, but he might put in like other contents in between to satisfy the hardcore players. So we consider a lot of factors when we design endgame content. We need to satisfy the hardcore users. At the same time, we need to worry about the middle players catching up to the end game. So basically, I don't think they're going to release new content fast, but they're going to put in not specifically Abyssal Dungeon or Legion Raid, but he's going to put in like something in between to satisfy the hardcore users. He can confirm right now that there's going to be a lot more vertical content, whether it is Abyssal Raid or Legion Raid or in others form, but there is going to be a lot more vertical content. But I know that Western users don't care about vertical. This is for KR users. That's why he's so focused, or like he's talking about this vertical content a lot. So this was very interesting to me. Like one of the streamers in Korea, Han Dong-suk, who is very who has about I think he has about 20,000 average viewers, but he's a variety streamer and he plays LOSTARK. He's the Esther Connoisseur in that mountain club, right? He was watching Loan and then he was like, "What the like Theamine is about to release. Theamine is about to come out. Like all hell's supposed to come. All hell is supposed to get loose into Arcasia, and we're turning into fucking pirate mokokos and doing these freaking events, summer events in a water park. Like all this cutesy stuff. It doesn't make sense." And then he saw that stream, he agrees with it and he's like, maybe next time we design an event for the he says in the winter event, for the winter event we will consider this and then we will try to put events that is more ideal for the current content. So I'm guessing that's like winter, maybe Kazuros.
어,
Yeah, he's like, yeah, Oh, holy shit. When he said that, I feel like I got hit in the head with a hammer. That is so true. He feels like they were getting too lazy with like event stuff. What? He just said, "Oh, Theamai, you're not gonna be able to clear it that soon." He's talking about Third Awakening also because a lot of people were asking about this. In Korea, there's a lot of people saying, "Dude, how is a 1460 character and a 1640 character have the same skill rotation? Like, why do you have to play the same skill cycle? What is the difference of gearing up? Nothing changes. And so people were expecting Third Awakening to change all that. Basically, they were working on it, but they had to go back and work on it again. They had to go back and do this process again, like ideas, going back, idea, going back, idea, go back to the point. But right now they settled on an idea and they decided and they're working on it. They want this Third Awakening have like a good quality. He wants to give us like a heads up on like what this Third Awakening is going to be like. But it's like, oh man, if I tell you guys everything, I will probably get in trouble when I go back into the company. So he doesn't want to reveal too much. He's going to go back, talk about it, and come out soon again, do another live stream soon, and give you guys an update on a lot of the stuff I talked about today. Oh, entropy. So people were saying get rid of entropy, right? Get rid of entropy, but he wants to keep it. He wants that bonus of entropy to be in the game. Oh, he's reading chat now. He's talking about the six character gold limit. So he can't tell us for sure that this is going to change. But when they did limit it down to 6 characters, there was a clear reason, which was gold inflation. However, he will go back to the company and discuss if the reasons when they limited the 6 golden characters, if those reasons are still a valid point as of today. Oh, about the mail scrapper. He talks about mail scrapper. Why was it postponed, but then they reverted it back? Why did they go back on their words? So they canceled the initial cancellation of mail scrapper. So he went and asked, why are we, going through with this mail scrapper? And the person who designed mail scrapper, or people that they have really great ideas and they think this is a really fantastic class. They are very confident. They've been working on it hard, and that's why they made that final decision to go with Male Scrapper. But he's saying that Male Scrapper is going to be a great class. He double checked. The developers are very confident in it, which is why they're going through with this Male Scrapper. This is not going to be the Scrapper that you think of. So it's going to be different from female scrapper. He's siding with the developers. He admitted. I guess I'm taking the side of developer on this thing. When developers are designing something and when they have an assurance that this will be good update for the game, he thinks it's necessary. A little bit of stubbornness is a requirement. Basically, that's what he's saying. He's communicating with the chat right now. He's doing a Q&A. People are asking about the balance patch, and right now he's not caught up with the balance patch. Oh, they're going to change the running animation on Soul Eater. Like Soul Eater runs like this, holding scythe with both hands, and people were complaining about it. Like, why scythe? You're supposed to run holding scythe on one hand and the holding stance. People were like, why are we running with scythe in both hands? And they're going to fix that before the release. Hot deal shop, basically, they in June, I believe, we had a hot deal package which included 50 chaos stones and 800 blue crystals for $30. And people were like, what the fuck? How do you call this hot deal? Do you even play the game? And people were furious about this hot deal package. You call this hot deal? The three bozos did apologize for this hot deal. They put it in for elixir stuff, but they should have been more considerate. Basically, he said, we'll do another hot deal package in July and make a redemption. We'll put in a better package in July for hot deal. People asked about his health, how his health, like, is he recovering? He recovered, but the past 10 days it got worse. Isn't better. Broshaza DPS cut. Basically, in the Winter Loan, the Endurance guy came up. Well, he did say they'll get rid of the DPS cut in Broshaza Gate 6. But Sorimcaster asked him, oh, you must feel very, do you feel like you're letting go of your baby? And he's like, yeah, I do, man. We worked really hard. Basically, my RPs, we worked really hard on this. I feel very, yeah. they're beautiful mechanics, and people are like, "What the man? How is that beautiful?" Right? He's basically covering up for him, shielding him, saying he doesn't know what it is, but maybe it's just the way he talks or the tone of him saying it. But they came out in the most wrong way as possible. He's one person that really cares about the users a lot. So yeah, basically he's trying to cover for him. So people were asking about class exchange ticket. Class exchange ticket. But instead of class exchange ticket, there is one agenda that I want to go back and discuss with three directors instead of class exchange ticket. So I'm guessing something similar. I don't know what it will be. And in order for the delay to not happen in the future, he's going to make sure that they hire more employees or staff to work on this for the global version and Kara version as well. So the Kara version does not have to respond to these global requests, global versions requests, and it will not cause any. The only thing that was really delayed was basically skins. Theamine, they said Theamine was delayed because it's got some new system. Like I don't know if you guys remember Lutera story quest. There is this one story quest where you have to go up the stairs and fight this dragon called Charagan in Korean. Yeah, it's going to have this new Theamine Gate 2 is going to have a system like that, but a little bit different. And Gate 4, they said they want this to be really high quality, really difficult, but fun at the same time. So that's what's causing the delay of Theamine. Basically, Theamine was delayed by about 2 to 3 weeks. All right, I think I covered everything. Let's now check how Invent is doing. Like, there's people saying, all right, there's two sides. There's people saying nothing's changed. And then there's like, well, what kind of patch do you want instantly? Like, what can be possibly done? I don't know if this stream is going to clear up all that suspicion, but I think it did like a band-aid on it. He did clear up a lot of stuff. Some parts are still a little iffy, but I think I personally can let this slide. As long as it doesn't make it in the game in the future, it's fine for me. For some people, it might not be enough. For some people, they might have to wait and see. But as far as Gold River, I feel, dude, this is what one director, having a person like Gold River is so important for a game. Like having someone that you can trust, it completely changes the atmosphere. For me, it does. And this global censorship, like Chinese version, it might still be there. The suspicions might still be there. People might still scrutinize, and people might still bring it up on Invent, be like, hey, isn't this Chinese censorship? It might happen. It might not. We'll see. Time will tell. Oh, no. Ah!